So the deciding factor that we always know that voting does matter,
Hmm.
voting does count, and that does change everything and how we
Hmm.
see things. So getting more in depth of questions that we always want to talk about, you decided to put your voice even a little more further.
Hmm.
This month of June, we know Marlboro County had a what's called a overhaul, a actual takeover. And when it comes to the superintendent of Marlboro County, got removed. The actual um, board for that county had got disbarred, like removed apart, and there was a lot of money sort of not put in its right place based off that time. You were an advocate, um, another approach that a lot of people felt like, whoa, she's coming out here a little bit more differently. And how you said if I was a superintendent, how I would have handled it. Can you tell us what made you decide to go that approach, knowing that everyone doesn't take that stance? Because a lot of times when funds, money gets lost, those can impact. Just taking instance, what happened in the city of Chicago. City of Chicago, for instance, over $700 million in a deficit of an actual district that has over billions of dollars and has so much money. It's like, okay, you didn't have the budget to be able to function that. So, can you explain to us why do you took that approach?
Yeah, so thank you for that. And the one thing that I want to highlight from, because I know you're probably referencing the latest article of my comments about the takeover in Marlboro County being extreme. And so I want to clarify that the state intervention was necessary. It was warranted. And the state had already taken over the financial aspect of the school board. And so the county chose the school district, the school board, they chose a superintendent who they wanted to, help them get out of the situation that they're in. But it's not the superintendent that the state superintendent, Ellen Weaver, wanted them to have. And so she ended up taking over the entire school district, like full control, because, like I said, she already had control. The State Department of Education already had control over their finances. So the full takeover is the issue. The timing is what I'm saying is extreme because if they're already making some type of progress, they're already moving in the direction of establishing who they want to help lead them out of the financial situation that they're in and put the district back on track. And then the superintendent comes in, and then yesterday the person that she wanted actually was put in place. I don't know if you saw that, but I call that extreme because, like I said, there was already financial oversight, or not over, but financial. Um, the State Department had already taken over the financial proportion. What I want to see different as state superintendent of education is getting in front of the situation, not being reactive. Because right now, our state law for school finance, it's basically set up to be reactive because school districts, they if there's financial mismanagement, things like that, they have like it's constant, like 3 years, right? Because I was looking at the progress of not just Marlboro County, but Jasper County and Williamsburg County and Allendale County. Like their financial situations have been going on for years, like the mismanagement of money, not turning in audits. Marlboro County, for example, they've had financial issues since 2017. And here we're in 2026. So right now, I feel like the legislation is weak and needs to be strengthened because a school district, as far as finances, they should not get to that extreme, like out of control for so long. Because basically how it's set up now is it's like a kid telling them, "Oh, if you don't straighten up, you're going to get time out." Right? That's how I'm reading the law right now. How it's set up, it's constant warnings. Oh, if you don't do this, but there's no um, consistent, or I shouldn't say consistent, but more what do you call it? Like a stricter timeline. Like instead of waiting a whole year for progress, how can we do like monthly or biweekly, more checks? And then as they look at the finances and how the district is meeting the metrics that are put in place, then scale back. So what I'm trying to say is we need to strengthen the transparency in our school districts, how the law's written. We need to intervene, be more proactive. We need to look at how we can amend the law to be more proactive, to give the Department of Education more authority to be proactive. And I'm not saying take over, because at the end of the day, we don't want a takeover. Now, if it's warranted after, all these additional things are put in place, then that's you know, my vision. Let me say it like this. My vision for improving the finance law for schools is to make sure, number one, we're putting kids first, because that's our goal. And if reports and audits are being turned in where money's being mismanaged, where money is not going to the kids like it should be, then those are certain alerts or red flags that should be put in place sooner rather than later. And like I was saying, we need to be more proactive in the beginning and then scale back. Right now, it's reversed. We've scaled back, and then when it gets really extreme, that's when the state steps in. So that's my vision for, creating more, to improve the transparency in our school districts, to, make sure that we're staying on top of the financial situation, and not being reactive, not as reactive as we are right now, the way that the law is written.
It's the Logan Power Show. Inspirational and motivational. It's the Logan Power Show. Informational to help you grow. Logan Power Show.